I am here today with Bailey Callahan. We're super excited to have her. She's got some new music coming out on September 4th. But first, we're going to get to know a little bit about her and her background. Bailey, why don't you start off by telling us about growing up and why you got started in music in the first place?
Sure. Well, first of all, hi. Thank you so much for doing this. Like I was telling you before we started recording, like I've been a fan of Women of Country for forever. And so when I found out that this was something that was going to be happening, I was ecstatic. So a little bit about me is I'm originally from Orlando, Florida. I started playing guitar when I was 8. My grandma made a bet with the first grandchild to learn how to play a musical instrument would get $50. So at that time, I was like little pet shops. I can just have all of them galore. So I learned how to play guitar, ended up falling in love with it. And from there, just the music and the passion for it just really kind of came into play. And so I've been writing songs ever since. And yeah, I've just been on this roller coaster. That is my cat. Roller coaster of awesomeness lately.
Love it.
Thank you.
Any particular artists that really inspired your music?
I think at that time a big inspiration of mine was Taylor Swift. And then I think at that time too, it doesn't, it's not a bad thing being 6 feet tall, blonde hair, blue eyed. But as I got a little older, I realized that was going to be a big struggle for me. So I really wanted to take the time to figure out who I was and what I had to say. And so some people, as I got older, that helped were like Eric Church, Miley Cyrus, the Dixie Chicks, the band Perry.
Yeah, great list you've got going there. Can you tell
Right.
me about your own songwriting and what inspires that?
Yeah, so I think like anybody, things in life kind of fuel the fire, I guess you could say. Um, but I think like lately, because I've been writing for so long, there's not a lot of heartbreak that happened. Fortunately for me, heartbreak doesn't happen 24/7. So that's not something that I can like sing about a lot. But one thing I found recently that I've really been like passionate about is when I travel somewhere, I find that I get a lot of inspiration from places that I go. And so, in particular, to like the new single, I did a road trip in California and I fell in love with it. And it just kind of changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. Hence, state of mind. But yeah, I've found that maybe like, and down the road for sure, maybe like doing an album of all just different places that have inspired me. And I don't know, I've on that kind of bandwagon lately.
That sounds so fun. Can you tell me a little bit about performing and any place or any venue that you've really enjoyed performing at?
Yeah, okay, so I've gone to play a few arenas in my career, and those are obviously like the best. But before COVID kicked in, I got to perform at House of Blues, and House of Blues was just my favorite. The green room, like the aesthetic, everything was just magical. So there's a dog too.
Love the
And
pets.
yeah, so it's been great. Those are probably my favorites for sure.
Great. Can you tell me how you've been staying busy through quarantine and all of 2020 has to offer?
Yeah, so 2020 was off to a really great start. My last show was that House of Blues show. I was supposed to go and open up for like Eric Church and Dirk Bentley. I was supposed to open up for, like, believe it or not, Creed in April. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I swear, if all it took was just turning 20, then like I should have turned 20 a long time ago. But prior to COVID, that was my plan, and then the release of my not not this single, but a single that I called Roll. So those were a little bit of what my plans entailed. But when COVID came into play, uh, everything got canceled. And so for a little bit, I looked at it as like, wow, okay, I get a much needed time off. But when I started kind of like wanting to be productive and motivated again, I started writing a lot, like writing nonstop, 24/7. Couldn't put down a guitar. I think I just had a lot to say because in the process of COVID and being off, I was just trying to figure out like rebranding too. And so once kind of COVID slowly started like drifting away, some restaurants and like bars opened up. And so I've just been doing like like bars lately, but I love it because it's just so much more intimate and people really appreciate the music.
Yeah, I love that feel. I don't know if you've been to the listening room, but it's just so great
Yeah.
to be able to just like sit there and have a conversation with the artist and basically be like, wait, I actually get to know more of you about you rather than just your music. So I think that's really cool. And I love that
Exactly.
smaller venues are getting the attention right now. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I got into so Blake Shelton's bar is called Old Red, and I
yeah,
got into like the Old Red circuit. And what's great about it is they put you on a giant screen. They put your logo. You're on a stage. So it gives you like that, you know, professionalism of being a bigger name,
yeah.
but the intimacy of like a restaurant and a bar. And so I found that that's really been like one of my favorite things lately. But COVID has like, I mean, it is slowly dying down, knock on wood, wherever wood is, yeah, thank you. And I'm about to go open up this Saturday for Josh Grayson. And so but the way that they're doing it nowadays is pods. So a pod can hold up to 6 people and they're all spaced out throughout like the amphitheater grass. And so I don't know if that's the new way of doing things. Hey, I'll take it.
That sounds so fun. It's like a
Yeah,
big, intimate little festival for everyone. That's
I
so
know, right?
cool. Awesome. Can you tell us, I know you mentioned State of Mind and Roll. Can you tell us a little bit about new music and the story behind Roll as well?
Yeah, so okay, so I'm gonna jump back a little bit.
Go, go.
So when I first moved to Nashville, I was 18 and I was so eager at that time to like be here. I turned 18, like I was ready to take on the world, and everybody just kind of viewed me still as like the 15-year-old that came to town. And I just felt like I was getting nowhere. I just felt really discouraged. And so I was like, what do I want to do? How do I separate myself? Like what is everything that I've wanted to accomplish? And I think during that time, maybe I was like a little bitter. I don't know.
Someone else a little bitter too.
Hi, Winnie. Winnie, knock it off. So anyway, so I was really trying to figure out how to set myself apart. And maybe at that time I had like a little bit of bitterness. And so I just naturally became a little more sassy, I guess you could say. And so I realized that if I could kind of be sassy and have fun and make a living, then why not? So during that time, I kind of developed my own sound, my own writing style, and I almost compared to like the girl version of Eric Church mixed with like Sheryl Crow. And so Roll was the first song that I wrote that really like with everything that I had to say, like the sound that I wanted. And so the day that I wrote that, I was like, this is the next single, like this is it. So we put out Roll, and Roll just changed my life so much because I think for the first time I was just genuinely me and no one else, no other influences. And so for me, like Roll, I think of like very dark colors. And I knew that like the next step would be almost like the summertime version of Roll, like brighter colors, you know.
Yeah.
And hence State of Mind came into play. And I don't know, I'm just on this roller coaster of like excitement and experimentation lately, and I'm just excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited for you. You've prepared something to perform with us today. Can you tell us what you'll be performing and then give us a taste?
Yeah. So my new single comes out. It's called State of Mind, and so by golly, we gotta play it. So I'm gonna back up a little bit so you can see the guitar. Maybe tilt this down a little bit too. Again, gotta love Zoom calls.
Yes.
But yeah, again, thank you so much for having me. The song is called State of Mind. Shotgun rider from the East Coast, radio screaming sweet child mine. Rolling out, pedal down, westbound windshield, painting of a sunset sky. No looking back, I don't need to. My past
What a fun song.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I can totally picture just like driving down like Pacific Coast Highway and just like belting that song.
Yes. Okay. So I actually shoot the music video for it tomorrow.
Oh,
And I
perfect.
just like road trip vibes. So girl, thank you for getting my vision.
Perfect. Oh my God, that's so amazing. The final question is, can you tell us where our listeners can follow your music and follow you on socials?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Bailey Callie. Facebook is just Bailey Callahan Music. Website's baileycallahan.com. You can find me on Spotify. Well, hey there. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music. Honestly, anywhere. I found the other day that you can like Google me, and
Nice.
I can pull up that way. I know, right? So, yeah.
So cool. Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure talking with you, and definitely stay tuned. We're staying tuned for State of Mind coming out on the 4th. Super excited.